You've been considering doing your skydiver course and become a solo skydiver? Well, stay tuned because in this video I give you the exact steps you need to do to get started and become a skydiver. Hey there, this is Catherine Burney from Skydive Vibes, sharing the passion of skydiving and helping you become a better skydiver. So if you're new here, well, consider subscribing and clicking the little bell icon to be notified whenever we do post new videos all about skydiving. I get a lot of questions on a daily basis, and the most common is, how can I start in order to become a skydiver? Here are 6 tips to start your skydiving progression. First, you need to be aware of the risks. Skydiving is an extreme sport that has a lot of risk, just like any other extreme sports out there. That being said, the sport revolves around safety. Whether through the training, the practices, or the gear we're jumping with, everything is about keeping us safe in this sport. So that being said, I would highly recommend you to try it before committing to a skydiving course. So make sure to do a tandem jump. There's also some options out there to do static line jumps, which is kind of a first jump course. This is how you'll know if you dig that feeling, that experience before committing to a full course. Now, you need to find and choose the right drop zone for you, as well as the right AFF program, which is the Accelerated Free Fall course. You're most likely to have a lot of different drop zones around where you live, so you want to make sure to do a quick research on Google to find the one, of course, nearest from you, but also you'll want to drive there and spend a day there, just feel the vibes of the school. Take a look around, talk to other students that are doing their course at that moment, or discuss with the instructors there. You also want to see if there's some fun jumpers hanging out, because that's who you will become. You will become a fun jumper, so you want to see if it's a drop zone oriented towards fun jumpers or not, because you'll find that there are some drop zones out there that are specifically focusing on tandem and on the experience for tourists, and they don't necessarily focus on the fun jumpers on the drop zone. So you want to take a look at that. This is also how you will get to progress a little bit faster. Also, you want to see if the drop zone is affiliated with your skydiving association in your country. Note that not all of those are affiliated, but that doesn't mean that they are bad. It just means that they are not regulated by your skydiving association. I would tend to recommend you to go towards one that is affiliated, but maybe you don't have much choice in your area, so you want to take a look at that and see what's better for yourself. I also talked about their programs because those might differ as well, whether they are offering tunnel time in your AFF progression or not, as an example. That leads us to, of course, my recommendation of leaning toward a program that offers you tunnel time in the AFF course, but also personally, I remember I did some tunnel time for my A license as well, so you want to take a look at that. I highly recommend it. This is how you'll be more confident in the sky, because you'll work on your stability before jumping out of the plane. So this way you can become more confident and work on that in the tunnel. And when you get for your first jump, you're only thinking about your plane exit, which is also an important part of the skydive. Next, price versus the license progression. You want to make sure when you compare prices that you are comparing the same thing. So ask about, is the price for the AFF course only? So is it up to the solo license, or is it up to the A license? You'll have a big difference in price, but that doesn't mean that one is more expensive than the other, because you're not ending at the same point in your progression. So a good way to get things straight, simply ask which license will you get after the program at that price. So whether it's gonna be you're gonna be a solo skydiver, which will be only the AFF course, or you'll become a A licensed skydiver, which gives you even more liberty in terms of fun jumps. The next tip of this video is inspired by a very common recurrent question, which is, when can I start to look at my own equipment, my own skydiving rig? At that I say, make sure you reach at least the A license, even up to the B license, before even starting to talk about your own skydiving rig. The reason is that during that period of progression from solo A, B, you'll be progressing fast and downsizing your canopy sizes fast as well. So you don't want to buy an equipment that you can't jump yet or that will become outdated very fast. And the reason is to be safe in our progression. New skydivers are jumping with larger canopy than they need to make sure it's slower and provides you more time to react if something happens. So as you'll progress, you'll downsize your canopy and you will increase your wing load, so your canopy sizes will change a lot. So by waiting up to the B license, you'll get a better idea of the size of canopy and container you want, and you'll also have a better idea of the discipline you want to focus in, because this can have an impact on the type of canopy and type of container you will end up jumping. Last but not least, progress one step at a time. It's very important. Like I said at the beginning, it's a risky sport that we make safe by our training, our practices, and our gear. So you want to take one step at a time to make sure you remain safe during your progression. If you're watching this, you're most likely a new skydiver, and at that point you don't want to start thinking about swooping, wingsuiting, or other more advanced disciplines. First, you'll get weird looks at your drop zone because you are really not there yet. Again, the idea of progressing one step at a time is important, and those disciplines are really one step ahead. So make sure to learn the basics, practice, get to learn your canopies, your equipment. Keep those disciplines. If you really want to do them, keep them in sight to have a goal in your progression, but do not think about trying them until you get to that point. And as you progress, as you'll get more experience, you'll notice that, okay, this is one step ahead, so I need to master my skills now at the point I am before diving into more complex stuff. If you want to know more about your AFF progression, I have an old video explaining all the steps, all the different jumps in the AFF program, and you can watch it by clicking right here. Let me know in the comments if you did start or planning to start your AFF course. Consider subscribing not to miss our weekly videos all about skydiving, and I'll see you in the next one. So keep jumping, well, start jumping, stay safe, and blue skies.